I've made $13 million selling digital products. And one of the biggest myths that people think is that if you are trying to sell digital products, you have to have really anything. You have to have a really big audience. But nothing could be further from the truth. We are living in an era where your social media content is not just shown to your followers. That's how it used to be in 2016 when I got started. Only your followers saw your content. So if you had 200 followers, you could never show your content to more than 200 people. Now, even if you have 0 followers, your content can be seen to millions and millions of people. And my students do it all the time. My students have reels that get over 1 million views all the time. And of course, they make a ton of sales from it. And I want to show you how they do it. So the first thing we need to do is just break the limiting belief that if I don't have followers, I can't make money, because nothing could be further from the truth. I have a testimonial that I share all the time because I like how it breaks that myth. It's one of my students. She is averaging $5,000 to $7,000 per day. Do you want to know how many followers Janine has? 936 when she sent the testimonial. She probably has a little bit more now, but when she sent me that testimonial, she had 936 followers and she was averaging $5,000 to $7,000 per day with her automations. So if you don't have any followers, you're right where you need to be. You're watching the video you were meant to watch. In case you don't know me, my name is Maria Wendt. Like I said, I've sold millions of dollars of digital products. I know exactly what to do and what not to do. I make free videos every single day showing you what's working and how you can make a ton of money with digital products. If you haven't subscribed already, be sure to so you don't miss any videos. I'm very close to 100,000 subscribers, which tells me that because I haven't been doing this for that long, I've only been making YouTube videos for a few months. And that tells me that what I'm making is helpful. You guys are leaving comments saying, I watched your video and I had my first launch and I made $7,000 or $10,000 or $2,000, whatever it is. It's still amazing. So be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss my videos. We have a lot of really good videos I've already made, but maybe more importantly, we have some really, really, really good videos coming up. So be sure to hit subscribe. And we're going to go into what I would do if I woke up and I had 0 followers. How would I make sales? What would I do? Essentially, if I woke up and maybe I was in your shoes where I didn't have an audience at all, but I still wanted to make a ton of sales, what would I do? That's what we're going to talk about in this video. Okay, got to get my coffee in. Sorry, guys. Okay. In other words, how do you sell without an audience? That's our goal for this video. How do you sell digital products without an audience? So if you have an audience, I'm going to turn off the iPad here for a second. I want to show you 2 images that are really important. Okay. So if you have an audience, you leverage follower views. This is a reel that I made this morning. That's what this looks like. Do you see how, because I have Instagram followers, because I have an audience, unfortunately, and it is unfortunate, I'll explain why. Unfortunately, the algorithm will show it to my followers first. Now, you might not understand why that's unfortunate, but I'll explain in a minute. So this is a reel that I made this morning. It has 77% of the views are from followers, 22% are non-followers. Why is that a bad thing? Because a small percentage of my content is being seen by new people. We don't want that. We want the majority of my content to be seen by new people. So on a reel that goes viral, for example, it's seen by mostly new people. That is, in this year, in modern algorithms, not 2016 algorithms, but in modern algorithms, you are better, literally, you are better positioned to grow if your reels are being shown to the majority of non-followers. So if you're new and don't have an audience, you literally have a better account than I do, which is kind of hard to wrap your mind around when you feel like you've been operating with old algorithm mentality and you're still focused on followers. My reason for existence, making social media content, is to reach non-followers. You get to do that every single day. And so, in other words, you get to leverage non-follower views. So, like I said, I just want to read this straight from my script so I don't miss it. When you don't have followers, every view you get is a non-follower view. This is the dream. I wrote this all in caps on my notes. So if I were going, let me turn my iPad back on here. Now that you understand that, and hopefully you've shaken off you should be getting excited right now because you have an opportunity that I do not, which is to reach people who are much stronger potential buyers. Because when you make content the way I make content, eventually everyone who follows me has either made a decision to buy from me or not to buy from me. And so I've monetized them. When my content is shown to new people, it's monetization opportunities. This reel has a much better chance of monetizing, not just in the volume, but in the percentage of non-followers who are seeing my content. Hopefully that point has gotten across. I want to show you now what to do now. Let me pull up my iPad again. Okay. So this is the formula that you need to follow, right? So let's leverage our non-follower views. Let's get excited. We're living Maria's dream. I'm just going to scroll down a little bit. This is the format that I would follow, okay? The reels that I would make it basically would be like this. And I'll explain each one of these steps. It's all going to make sense. Okay. So first thing the reels that are going viral right now, that are reaching a ton of non-followers, that are performing best, the reels that I'm making are B-roll reels. You may have seen them, where it's video footage of someone, like maybe they're just like sipping the coffee, they're not talking to the camera, there's music over it. Those are called B-roll. It's an old film term. A-roll is like talking head, the primary footage, and then B-roll is the literal B-roll, like the second camera, the like not less important footage, but the non-primary footage. And so that's kind of a brief overview of where B-roll comes from. But it has to be good B-roll. So it can't be shitty B-roll footage. And so couple of pro tips: good lighting, ideally natural lighting. Don't film yourself indoors up against a wall. That looks bad. If your house is gray, film outside. And then a little pro tip is make sure it has the color blue in there. Every one of my reels that does really well has a bright color blue prominent. Why do you think my office wall is painted blue? Why do you think my chair is blue? I wear blue all the time. I'm very careful to put blue in my content because it performs better. So most important, aside from all of that, is make this reel 2 to 3 seconds long. That's it. Very, very short. 2 seconds is better than 3 seconds, but if you have to do 3 seconds to like finish the movement, so be it. Put music on it. So that's very, very short. But then that leads into, so it's good footage, good music, really short. Then this is a long caption. Now, it can't just be any long caption. I will beat you if it's ChatGPT written, okay? Because people can spot that a mile away and it's not good. So a long caption, obviously, the more they read, the more it loops, right? So you got a 2 to 3 second. Now, they did disable it where it like auto looped 100 times, but still, the longer you keep someone on your reel, the better. The more it's going to get pushed to non-followers. And so a very, very, very long caption. And what I have found works really, really well is a vulnerable like hook plus caption combo. So I'm going to pull up the one that I did this morning. When I grabbed this screenshot, it had 30,000 views. It's probably got, now it's at like 60K. So it's doing really well. It's this one here. Notice how it's blue. Notice the hook. It's I met someone in first class today. Here's the music. And then the hook or the caption, you should go back and read it, but it's basically about how I met someone in first class and It's really, I just want to show you visually how long it is. Do you see how long that caption is? And then I invited them to share in the comments. But it's basically just telling a story. And what I have noticed is the more transparent, the more vulnerable the stories are, the better they do. So that's how I get, and it's like, that's again, 60K, it's 9 o'clock. It got published at 7 a.m. So with 2.5 hours, that's pretty good for me, right? That's a pretty good reel. I'm not in the glory days of June 2024, or maybe even 2023. I think it was 2024, was when the algorithm had a really big change and it prioritized new creators. And so it's great for you guys who are new. For me, I already had an audience. I lost so much of my content got shown to a lot less people. So I had to get savvier. I had to get more clever, which is great because I've been able to really just like make the algorithm my bitch. You're going to see my content come hell or high water. So that's what's working really well. I need to get some water, sorry. Okay, third thing is that your link in your bio, so we'll just put link in bio, is going to go directly to a checkout page, not a landing page, a checkout page. If you go to mine, I'll show you mine. Go to my link in bio really quickly here, just so you can kind of see what this looks like. You would be very surprised at how many sales, because we track this stuff. You would be shocked at the amount of sales I get. So it's 24. This is my link in bio. I don't know why my iPad went away, but it's fine. I don't need it anymore. This is my link. Oh, there it is back. This is my link in bio. And it's 24 courses for $24. So basically $1 a course. It's a no-brainer offer. You can see here, you just check out. If you want to look at it in depth, you can. It's the reason it sells so much is because there's 24 business courses for $24. It's $1 a course. Like, it's crazy good value. It teaches on all different kinds of topics, so it's super applicable to a lot of different people. But if you want to see an even easier way to do all of this, you should see how I made $500,000 with a Google Doc. That's crazy. Watch that one next. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe. I'm so close to 100K.